Hey guys, Paul here. So today I wanted to talk about the recent Pokemon card controversy and sort of how it relates to Yu-Gi-Oh! And why it's kind of made me grateful to be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan. So in case you've been living under a rock, the Pokemon TCG just released a new set called Prismatic Evolutions, and it's got alternate art, high rarity versions of some of the different evolutions that everybody loves. And also, if you've just kind of been following Pokemon cards in the periphery at all, you'll know that whenever there are, a new Pokemon set comes out, particularly one that's very nostalgic, yeah, people love it. They get a little feral, a little bit crazy over it. And this time is no different. You've probably seen some of the videos, but I'll just highlight a couple. There's this one video I saw where there's like a fight that breaks out in Costco. You can see this guy's holding, I guess, these like whatever. I don't know if these aren't ETBs, however the Pokemon cards are. So these big like box sets of them. So there's this fight. They're trying to have to de-escalate it. That's insane. Also, there's like this other video where people. This is from actually in November. And I guess they re-released Pokemon 1 or something, and people just destroyed a palette. See, people don't care. They destroyed everything. They're grabbing as much as they can possibly get. They're running off with it. Also, there's one last one that I saw that I just thought was. There's another fight that broke out over the thing, but also there's this video which is just insane. Like they just, I guess, said like, okay, people can come in the store. It just opened. And you can see people running and just trying to like grab everything that they can. It's really absolutely wild behavior. This is wild to me mostly just because, like, I mean, come on, you can't just take Jesus Christ. But anyway, so yeah, the reason I wanted to make this video is not to like, compare and contrast Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon in a like negative way. Like obviously, if you're a Pokemon fan, this is great. You have the right to like get these Pokemon cards, or at least you should be able to get them. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a big Pokemon fan. I've considered collecting, Pokemon cards myself for a while. But I think that when behavior gets like this, it's wild to me. And I made a video on the main APS channel a while back where I was actually talking about how like, okay, like card games don't need scalpers like this. And it all comes back, for the sake of this video anyway, it all made me just think about like, man, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is bad in some ways. It's got some of its own problems with, the game, power creep, some printing practices, whatever. But I'm so thankful that it has never ended up like whatever this is for Pokemon. And I feel really bad for like kids who want to play Pokemon and try to get their cards. Real, genuine fans and collectors. I saw the Pokemon company had to issue a statement and be like, yeah, we're going to try to increase supply. And that's great that they're doing that. Like, good on them. But yeah, it's wild. Now, why is Yu-Gi-Oh! Not like this? Like, what makes Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon so different? Well, there's obviously the big elephant in the room, which is that Pokemon is like the number one, just highest grossing media, IP, franchise, property, whatever. People love Pokemon. Pokemon fever doesn't feel like it'll ever really die. Kids love it. Parents love it. Everyone's got memories of it. It's very nostalgic, especially you can tell with these like nostalgic boxes and things. But I think more so than that, with the Pokemon TCG specifically, it almost actually feels like it's a problem with it is that it's so collectible. Like the primary purpose for Pokemon cards for the people who are like buying this stuff and trying to scalp it on eBay is to take advantage of collectors and people who are looking to actually get these cards. And with Yu-Gi-Oh! That's not the case. And the reason why that's not the case, because it hasn't always been that way. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Can be a collectible game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Does have some retro and nostalgic cards that are in high, not, I can say they're not, knocking people down in Costco high demand, but there are things like, Dark Duel Stories, Blue Eyes and Dark Magician, or just certain like LOB first edition cards or wavy packs, things like that, that definitely happens. But for the most part, I think that the big difference is that with Yu-Gi-Oh! We're usually playing the game first and foremost. The focus is on playing the card game as opposed to like collecting or buying and selling the card game. So while we will get the occasional new set these days that kind of sells out fast because it's just in sort of high demand, like sometimes when a popular new structure deck comes out, it might be kind of hard to find it on shelves. I remember the retro pack that came out last summer. That was also a pretty elusive pack to find sometimes. Like at least when I was doing my retro Rumble series with Alec, it was sometimes tough to find them in our city, and so you'd have to like go online or go to these GameStops. GameStop actually even marked that product up actually to like $25, and sometimes you have to like buy it online for $30, and so that was kind of crazy. But still, I'd say that that's nothing compared to how bad and crazy Pokemon gets. I remember, I mean, even just what was it, yesterday I went to my local GameStop, and the guy was like, there was a sign on the door, and it's like, yeah, we're out of this pack, like don't come asking for it. Then when I went inside, the guy told me that like people were lined up, crowded outside the door when they opened, and they were bombarding them. So yeah, that's pretty wild. Conversely, though, maybe one small, like, I don't say this is a negative for Yu-Gi-Oh, but like, I do sometimes think that Yu-Gi-Oh could benefit from some of that buzz, like some of the hype and the buzz and kind of the fever around getting old school cards. But I think that on the whole, it's good that we don't have that. I've always been a firm advocate of I want Yu-Gi-Oh to grow. I want this game to, be the best that it can be. I want like more people to play it, more people to get into it, more people to enjoy the game and like have buzz about it and talk about it. But really more than that, I want more people to be like playing Yu-Gi-Oh for the most part. Collecting, totally good, totally fine, nothing wrong with it. But I'd really rather people be playing Yu-Gi-Oh because that means that like the game is being engaged with, it's being talked about. And so it's just made me grateful because like when I look at it, Yu-Gi-Oh has not actually had all that many controversies product wise. Like the controversies certainly come from within. Like sometimes like we're upset that maybe Konami didn't like they printed a certain card that you wanted at like a higher rarity, so it's gonna be a little more expensive. But like it's really nothing compared to what Pokemon is like, and that's good. Like I think we should really be glad we haven't gotten a Magic the Gathering 30th anniversary controversy as well, where it's like, okay, here we're going to charge you how much did those like $1,000 for the Magic 30th thing or something, where you got like 4 packs and they're proxies and you can use the cards. So there's nothing like that in the game. We don't have to worry about like literally finding our way into Costco to get to get Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I think the biggest like product related issues are, like I said, more of the like internal things for kind of these core players who are into the game and like are looking forward to reprints and stuff. Like I still think Konami should be working on improving sort of the reprint pipeline, right? Like if they're not going to do the mixed rarity system, which is really the true, in my opinion, like solution to a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh's printing issues right now, where you can get a high rarity card or a low rarity version of the same card. So that way, like I can get a high rarity SP Little Knight's the example I always throw out. But let's say Fiendsmith Engraver or something can come secret, and that could be like $60-$80, however much it costs. But then there could also just be like a super or rare version or something that's like $5. That's how it is in the OCG, and that would be great for us to have. And so that would be cool. And then, like I said, like kind of tightening the window for reprints, which actually reprints seem like they have a little bit to do with the Pokemon thing as well, because Pokemon does not really reprint cards. Like cards just sort of, for the most part, get like printed once, and then once that product's gone, it's just like the card will never get reprinted, and that's always kind of been interesting to me. Apparently, it's like Yu-Gi-Oh is a bit of an outlier in that way, actually. That as a card game, Yu-Gi-Oh does do more reprints than like Magic and Pokemon, and most card games tend to do. So it's weird because like I guess it's given me this epiphany of like within the community, we kind of hate some of the things about Yu-Gi-Oh, like reprint faster and this and that and the other. But it's like when you sort of zoom out a little bit and look at what it's like sometimes in other communities, we maybe should be grateful. Like we kind of have it, I wouldn't say like great, but I don't know, I guess like things aren't maybe as bad as they, it's kind of that grass looks greener sort of situation. So anyway, yeah, what do you guys think? I just wanted to make a quick video talking about this and sort of sharing my thoughts. I'm especially interested in like, if you're a Pokemon player, are you kind of experiencing this? Like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, if you play Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, kind of give me a comparison or a contrast down below in the comments. And then B, if you don't, would you want this type of buzz for Yu-Gi-Oh? I mean, obviously, the answer to that is no. Nobody wants to have to like fight their way to get the newest starter deck or pack or something like that. But I do sometimes feel envious of the fervor that Pokemon gets. But then it's like I see this and I don't know, man. I'm torn. Anyway, though, yeah, I just wanted to make a quick video about this, and this definitely is not an excuse for me to test out this fancy, cool new Shure SM7B microphone that I got. But, yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of a funny thing. I wanted to highlight it. I still hate that scalpers exist in the card game space in general, but especially for Pokemon. Like, my heart goes out to you guys who are just genuinely just trying to get some of these packs, like, one copy of an ETB or whatever sort of box and just open it or, like, share it with a kid, because this seems absolutely wild. I couldn't be me. Okay, cool. Well, that's going to be it. I want to hear what you guys think about this. Does this sort of make you grateful to be playing Yu-Gi-Oh or nah? Tell me in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bastard.